and laughter. Because $1 from every Shaq-a-Roni goes to charity. That's pizza with a purpose.
Channel 3's Cindy Sexton, coverage you can count on.
We talk a lot here within Chattanooga about how patriotic we are, and we are. As a city, we have a lot of patriotism. Our Veterans Day Parade, one of the longest running in the country. You head down to Ringgold and you always see the flags lining the street. We love our country here, and coming up on Saturday, August 28th, there's a very special event coming on that is going to be a benefit, we hope, a reunion of sorts for those who served in Desert Storm. This is Scott Hardin. I keep looking at him to rescue me a bit on my facts. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you, Ms. Edwards.
I realized as I was talking that I might have gotten it wrong, actually, because this Desert Storm dinner that you're doing on Saturday, I guess people from the public can buy a ticket and come to, but it's really intended as a reunion, right?
Yes, ma'am.
For the veterans of Desert Storm.
Basically, for the 8 units, there were 8 units that were activated in this area, and that's kind of a odd that many units would be for this area. So we just decided that it was 30th anniversary that we needed to try to get together and honor those veterans. You know, I've done a lot. I've done some things with World War II and Vietnam and Korea. Now it's kind of hard to believe that. You know, it's 30 years, and they had a Vietnam veteran saying, 2 years ago that was 50 years. Mm-hmm. So, where will we be in 10 more years or even 20 more years?
Talk to me a little bit, though, about the uniqueness, maybe, of Desert Storm, because I'm thinking that we can all kind of encapsulate World War I, World War II, Vietnam. The long-standingness of Desert Storm, I think maybe sometimes led to people forgetting that it, too, was its own operation. We just kind of grew up as a generation that way. Does that make sense?
And it was kind of like, I think it was the first time the military actually took, besides I think World War I and World War II, they actually took units from the community. And in Vietnam they took 1 or 2 people. But when you take a whole group out of like Dunlap, Tennessee, or Chattanooga, like the unit that I was in, and you have 140 people, that's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So, so then you have the togetherness, the camaraderie. People may not support the war, but they're going to support the people that went there and their troops. So that was kind of the first time.
You were on with me, what, a couple of months ago,
yes,
something like that,
yes.
talking about this. Who would have thought that we'd be sitting here now talking about what dinner conversations might end up being on Saturday night, as I'm sure a lot of the veterans are going to be talking about what's happening in Afghanistan. This one hits you pretty close to home.
Yeah, I was there in 10 and during the surge that President Obama put together, and we were doing a lot building up the base and things of this nature. And I didn't specifically, my unit didn't have a lot to do with the people. But
you did not?
No, but we dealt with the people inside the wire. I would call it inside the wire.
What does that mean?
The base. So you got a base and you put wire around it. So you say inside the wire, outside the wire. That's just a military term. But we the only thing we really had is we had some equipment that we had leased, and we had a gentleman come on the base to help us fix it. And when he went back home, Taliban killed him.
Is it? I don't even know how to phrase this question, so just forgive me as I stumble through it. When you're serving there on the ground, inside or outside the wire, you're meeting people.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And people are people. No matter where you go in the world, you're going to find good and you're going to find bad. Uh-huh. Did you find men, since you didn't deal much with the Afghan people, who bonded and made friends with the Afghan people?
Well, we actually had, inside the base, you had people that outside the base that worked inside the base, that ran, did different services for us. And yes, you built a relationship with those people. You've been somewhere for a year and you see somebody every other day buying something or getting a service done. Yeah, you do. You have a camaraderie, and you get to know people. And,
so does your heart hurt for them now? I mean, that must be so difficult.
Yes, it does, because all the women have the strife that they got through, and the problem, and the things that they made, the improvements they made in their life with education and school, and now all that's just going to be just all for none, just kind of snuffed out, and it's really, really sad.
Is that going to be across the board for them, do you think? I mean, I know you can't speak, but when we didn't intend this to get political, but, you hear the Taliban saying that it's not going to be as restrictive as it was. You don't put much stock in that?
Who can you believe now? I mean, you already hear things about where they're going door to door and finding people and killing them and the girls can't go to school. Yeah, I just don't believe that. I don't believe that at all.
So for this dinner coming up on Saturday, I know you're still wanting the word to get out
Yes,
there
ma'am.
because it's many of the people who served now living are living in places far away from here.
Yes, ma'am.
You'd love for them to come back.
I mean, we do have some people come from out of state, several come from out of state. So, and for the dinner, I know everybody's kind of worried about the COVID thing popping back up, but we've kind of spread the room out and we'll have 6 at a table, and we're going to be checking temperatures and doing all the proper CDC stuff for a pandemic. So we're still looking to have a pretty good crowd. Yeah.
Don't you have a speaker coming?
Yes, we have General Bell.
Oh.
He was.
That's great.
He's a native of Oak Ridge and went to UTC, and he was General Schwarzkopf's executive officer. And so he tells some great tales or stories about his time with General Schwarzkopf. I mean, it's like he tells. I heard it before. It's like Kuwait gets invaded that afternoon. He's at the Situation Room in the White House with Colin Powell and the first Bush and Cheney talking about what they're going to do. So.
You know Kevin West here in
yeah,
town?
Yeah, I know Kevin.
I saw a thing on his Facebook page within the last week, and he just said, because he's very proud of his military service, still active, but he just said that the veterans who served in Desert Storm are wanting to talk, and if you know a veteran, all you have to do is listen, just let them talk. Do you think that that's probably true across the board, that what's happening now after the work that you put in is hard to see?
It is. Yeah, everybody just wants to kind of vent or try to get it off their chest, or just talk about it, because there's a lot of things that they did over there, good things, and now it's just kind of all for none. And, not to get political, but I just don't understand the policies that our administration has taken. I mean, we can go, I heard other countries are going there and getting the people we can do that. We have the capability. I don't know why we're not doing it.
So this could be a good place to spend a Saturday night, fellowship with people who've had the same experience as you, and ask some questions and maybe get.
And also, on Friday night at Boyd Speedway, they're having a race, a veterans race.
Are they?
So yes, Emerson Russell and his crew is putting on a race, and all the veterans are invited for free. It's about 7 o'clock, so come out and drink an adult beverage and see some guys and hang out and have a good time at the race.
Leave it to Emerson. I was at the Boyd Speedway not too long ago for something, and I actually got in a race car, and went around. They go mighty fast on that track, and it's really something to see. So, okay, so they need to go to what website to get their ticket?
It's capital C chat 30-year Desert Storm Reunion.com, or they can call me at 423-847-7328. 423-847-7328.
And there are a lot of tickets already sold, but there are still some seats at the table. And then on Friday at 7 o'clock, Boyd Speedway, it's Emerson's gift to you.
And we still, if we still could use some sponsors. If anybody out there would like to contribute to pay for some of the veterans meal, we would appreciate that. And we're also placing a monument at the National Cemetery to honor the 8 units that were activated for Desert Storm.
Are you trying to seek funds for that as well?
Yeah, we are too. Yes, ma'am.
And that same website is a place that they can go to.
Yeah. And if you just Google, there's so much out there. You just Google it, it'll pop up, Chattanooga Desert Storm. Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Jules. Appreciate it.
My